Hi guys, welcome back to the Cinematic Mike channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review on Benny Chan's film Raging Fire starring Donnie Yen and Nicholas Ste. Sorry, I can't pronounce his name. I tried looking up a video to see how to pronounce his last name, Nicholas Se or Tis, and I couldn't find anything so I could learn how to pronounce his last name right, but I couldn't find anything. Anyways, you guys saw that I did an unboxing last time to this, and so I said I might do a review on it, and I thought I should because I also brought up how I never saw this film in the theater before I bought it, and I've said this many times how there are times where I want to see a film because I see a trailer or the buzz about it, and sometimes I don't get a chance to. And then the movie comes out, and usually I don't pick it up because I didn't see it in theaters. But there are times, moments where I actually do buy it because I really, really want to see it, and sometimes I believe in the reviews or the buzz about it. So I just go and pick it up, and that's what happened with Raging Fire. I saw that it had the certified fresh. I actually looked up the reviews, and I saw that there was a lot of good reviews on it. So I actually really thought it was gonna be a good movie when I picked it up. Unfortunately, I don't know if I can say it's a bad movie. It's just not my cup of tea type of thing. As I said, I kind of give up on these type of action type of films like this, with a kind of similar story that we've seen many times. It is a little bit different, I think, but it still plays on it. I just really thought it was gonna be something where, even though it has that similar story, it was gonna be an actual very good one. And to me, to some of you, it might feel like it was a good one. To me, it felt like it was trying to get close to being a good one, and I think the idea of it is actually really interesting. I just couldn't fall for it. So those are the things that I just couldn't see it as for what I think many people saw it for, and I was like, damn. So yeah, I think Donnie Yen is good in it. I mean, he's a great actor. He's good in it. There are things that I didn't like. It was kind of hard to actually follow at the beginning. Some things I've seen, some things get confusing at times in the beginning of the film. I think even throughout the film, like it cuts to some scenes where I'm like, wait, who's that guy? Or why are we looking at that guy now? And so it gets a little bit confusing, a little bit hard to follow for me. Another thing I didn't like about it is that it's in its foreign language, but there are times where they're actually throwing in English language, which I don't know why they're doing that. I'm not sure if they have to say that word in English to use that word. I'm not sure if it's a way to just appeal to a little bit to the American audience. But it was really something that was taking me off, because I was like, why can't you guys just stay in that language and stop throwing in all that American stuff in there? I don't know. It just kind of bothered me. I'm not sure if that's something that does go on where you gotta mix it up a bit, throwing in like some American words and then going back to your original language. But it just I really was bothered by all of that. And there's some of the action scenes. I really thought most of the films that I've seen that you can call foreign films, films from the other side and all that, I've seen ones that are actually really good that look like they could have been filmed here. They look like they have a talented director, a talented art department and all that, locations and all that, and it looks great. It looks unbelievable and all that. But here there's like so many sets where when they're fighting and they're breaking down, I can tell that that table was meant just to break. I can tell it's a breakable table. I can tell that it's a fake table that's just there so it could break, because the way it breaks easily, just like I'm like, okay, that just doesn't, I know this is all fake right here. I mean, yeah, every movie's fake. There's movies where they actually have the talent where, they can really show that that table was real and they got injured in a certain way. But right here they freaking just break it. It's like, just breakable. It's just, you can tell it's all like staged right there. So that's something that was throwing me off. I'm not really into those type of films, especially if you're doing a tale that's supposed to be, you know, modern time right now, that takes place now. I mean, I could believe it if you're trying to base it off of like the old school type of films, like the way I seen Once Upon a Time in China has sets like that, so I can believe it there. Like, I'll let it slide there. But when you're making a film where it's supposed to kind of take place in modern day, I'm like, oh, I don't know if it fits with doing those kind of props and all that, with the breakable props. And the other thing is, when people get injured here, man, the makeup, I mean, to me, I'm not sure if it's saying the makeup is bad or it's just like they didn't do, I guess, yeah, the makeup is bad because, I mean, they get hurt like just randomly, like just one little drop, and then they come back up and they have like blood all over their face, like if they really got injured. But it looks like the blood is just someone just threw it on them just to make it look like, it doesn't look like they paid attention to the injury. It just said like, oh, let's just paint some blood on here to say he got hurt. And I don't know, something bothered me of the makeup, because sometimes I seen them and I'm like, I don't think his face would be that bloody for the injury that I saw him get, the stunt that he did in that part. I don't think it would be that type of, his look would be that. I think it's being overdone, it's overdoing it. So that's something that got to me, and I'm like, oh man, this is not going so well. I mean, one, I don't like the talk, the language changing. I don't like the stage sets and all that, where you can tell it's all sets and it's just there so they could play around and just break the sets and all that. Then the blood just looks fake, and it was irritating just looking at it, and because it didn't look like it was like it went with the injury that they're supposed to have. There are some good humor in this film. There is some things that I think I laughed at. There's some good stuff here, a little humor here and there, so that's good. I know I complain about like this being staged and all that, and most of them has like stage, yeah, most of the film, but I think I was complaining more like from the beginning, where I think where they go to this place, and I think Bong's not allowed to go. Donnie Yen's character, and his boss or like his partner is there, and Ingo, his Nicholas, his former partner right there, actually shows up and causes a lot of issues there. So that's the one that I didn't really, that's where I saw all the stage and I'm like, oh, this isn't believable. I mean, I can tell all that's a set and it's just breaking so easily. It's just there. And but the one that I did get into a little bit was the one where he finds this guy named Guai. I think his name is Guai, and he goes into like this neighborhood place, and the action there is pretty cool. I think when Donnie Yen's on the rooftop and then he goes to find this guy, and a lot of things happen there too, like some action picks up there too, and I really like that scene with the gun shooting and all that. That I kind of enjoyed that scene right there. The thing that bothered me there too was that was so unbelievable that I didn't understand was there's all these people with blades, like they get these blades and there's like a whole army of them with knives, blades going towards them, like if they're ready to go attack them, but they never do. And I'm like, okay, why do you have like a scene where all these these people with blades are charging, looking like I'm gonna mess you up for coming into the neighborhood and we're not gonna let you take them, but then they just there like this, like they're not doing anything and they never do anything. And I'm like, you have all that threat right there, and you just kind of just did it for what? Just for show that, okay, they have blades, but they're not gonna use it. They're just gonna show it off. Like, I got a blade, that's it, like a machete and all that, and nothing. I mean, I was thinking about, because I just bought the movie, one of my favorite Korean films, New World. Not my favorite, I guess, but it's one of my favorites, but not my all-time favorite, but one of my favorites, New World. And I remember the scene where they end up getting into a knife fight, and they're actually freaking fighting with the knives. And I'm like, I thought it was gonna come into something like that, similar to that, and I thought Donnie Yen was gonna have to fight his way out of there and all that, but nothing like that happened. It seemed like it was just easy for him to get out. It just seemed like it was way too easy, and this was just kind of for show a little bit. It just didn't flow with it for me. So that's something that bothered me in that scene. But then again, I like some of the action scene a little bit before that, or that's going on inside. Meanwhile, these people are just like with their knives and all that. There are some crazy scenes in here, like the scene where the situation with Engo and what happens right there at the yard and all that, kind of reminded me of American History X there. And I was like, damn, what the hell? I'm like, they're really gonna do that? And there's another scene I can't quite remember, but there was like two more, another scene that was really like a shock, and I was like, oh damn. So something's got kind of interesting right there that caught my attention. And then there are some scenes that are just really unbelievable. I just don't believe it. Like most of the film, there are people getting injured, a lot of people dying, but sometimes it seems like they're getting shot to bring out an emotion or to try to make it like sad, but it just doesn't go properly. I mean, I just don't see it. I don't see it like being executed right. So yeah, those are the things that bothered me about the film Raging Fire. It's just I don't know. There's too much of it. Like just didn't go. I mean, I'm not sure. I think this is probably the style. This might be Benny Chan style. I don't think I've seen a Benny Chan film. This is probably my first Benny Chan film. And I'm not sure. Maybe this is the way he does his thing. Maybe this is this is that type of genre. This is for those people because there are people that enjoy this film. I read comments and a lot of people are actually fans of this film. I really wish I could be a fan of this and be like, hell yeah, Raging Fire and this and that. This is bomb ass movie. Um, but no, and no, it didn't. A lot. The other thing is they use a lot of flashbacks, and I hate these flashback scenes. I think they're good in movies and shows for at a point, but there's a point where and some people just do it in a corny way, and in this movie, it's just way too corny the way they're showing the flashbacks in here, and there's I think like too many of them, but it's just that's something that I'm like, all right, give it a, I don't need to like see this. I even got bothered like at the beginning when like the first flashback came up. I'm so yeah. The story is a little bit interesting. I just wish it was done. Someone would have worked on it more. I wish someone would have helped out and like probably known like something that damn sorry. um I wish someone would have known like, there's a little bit of potential in here. So let's work on it a little bit more. Cause I mean the story is about how this guy Nicholas his Ingo was like a partner of Donnie Yen's character Bong, and they worked in the department, and he had to go handle some business. Meanwhile, Bong was somewhere else. But then something happens which causes him to be guilty of something, and Bong being like this guy that can't lie and all that, all about justice and all that. And this is his friend. And his friend is kind of expecting his partner is expecting him to, hey, back me up, just back me up and everything will be fine. But at the end he kind of basically gives him up. He didn't want to, but and Bong's character, he has to. And so that leads kind of to like a little bit of hatred, a grudge growing, and eventually he comes out, and if you see the flashback and you see him now, he has a scar here. The other, because he got locked up with other policemen, and they're all hurt too. There's another one with a burned face, and I thought that was kind of interesting. I wish we could have seen more of like what happened to them on the inside. That would have been interesting to see how they dealt with. I think Nicholas Ingo says it too. He's like, you don't know what they did to us in there. They treated us bad because they knew we were cops and all that. And yeah, and then he decides to kind of get his revenge on the people who turned on him, which was kind of messed up. So I did kind of find it like that scene in the courtroom. Yeah, I kind of felt it right there. I'm like, oh, this. I felt like, oh man, this kind of getting good, kind of a little bit, but then it goes back to some other stuff, and I'm like, the other thing is like the ending. I think the CGI of like the film with the explosions and all that. I didn't like the CGI of the special effects of the film. I mean, I don't know what the budget was. I mean, I know sometimes you could just use your imagination, even though the special effects isn't that good. You know what that's trying to say. But I think that's probably what got me to kind of get worried when I saw the trailer, because I saw all this buzz around it. And when I saw the trailer, I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, it doesn't look like it's that going to be that good, or something. The cut of the trailer is wrong or something. But I'm like, people are talking about it and it's getting good reviews and all that stuff. So when I saw it at Walmart and I saw the certified fresh, I'm like, oh, it kind of got my attention. I'm like, I know certified fresh maybe doesn't mean much sometimes to some people and all that. There are movies that I like a lot that are certified fresh, and I think I said before, my friend always hates me because he's like, you always agree with the critics no matter what the critic says, it's good. But I've told him, I'm like, there are moments where something's certified fresh and I probably don't like it at all. And there are moments where there's movies that aren't certified fresh and I actually like them. I'm like, oh, I actually like that film. Probably didn't have that good reviews, but I like them. But this one, when I saw the reviews to this one, I looked, because I know, so I looked, even though I had the stamp on it, I looked it up on the phone and I saw all these reviews, all good, the red tomato and everything. I'm like, damn, this film must be good then. I'm like, since it has a lot. I mean, when I see the green, but I saw a few green. But I read them again last night before I was gonna do my video because I was like, what the hell? I was like, what did the critics see in this? What was? I mean, it seems like one of those. It was really cliched. It was really like something we've seen before. I didn't see anything. It seemed like there was an idea kind of where it could have been worked on and could have been a much better film. But it wasn't. For me, just for me. I'm just being honest. I mean, so yeah, I didn't like it, and it's one of the reasons I say like, damn, this is called taking a risk. I wasted like $15-$20 on this, and now I kind of wish I didn't. I really wish I could wrap this movie up. I wish I could wrap it up again, but I opened it, so I wish I could wrap it up, get my receipt, and return it because I did not. It's not something that I would want in my collection. I don't know if it'll grow on me later, or maybe someone will do a breakdown on it really good, and maybe I'll enjoy it. The other thing is the acting. You know, Donnie Yen does good. Donnie Yen is Donnie Yen. Nicholas Ortiz. I haven't seen any of his work. I think. But I saw him in here. He looked interesting, and he kind of looked like he should have played like probably like the. I don't know. Something about him kind of didn't fit right with Donnie Yen. I don't know. Something didn't flow right. I felt like he probably should have been the mentor or something. I don't know. Something was up with it that I saw. But the thing is, the acting that I hate, it's just this freaking cliche acting of the villain right here. Like this whole thing, I get bothered with these films when they do the villain. They're still doing the old school villain type of thing where the villain has to laugh when you start asking him a question, like a sarcastic laugh. It's just like a way to like say, "Oh, look at me, I'm laughing." So I just need you to know that I'm the villain. I'm like, damn, I know you're the villain. You don't have to freaking do the whole little evil smile and all that type of thing. Like, I hate that type. That thing annoys me because that's like something like so old and something I think so wrong. I'm like, just get into really the mind of the character and actually play it. Like instead of like, I feel like he was just trying to show that, oh look, I'm the villain in this movie. Like I'm the bad guy. And I don't know, maybe you watch movies from back then with the villains kind of doing that whole thing where they laugh and all. And I don't know, it just bothers me. It's like a cliche type of villain type of thing. So I think that's all I can say for right now on my review of Raging Fire. Say I really didn't enjoy it. Some of you might. So me, I wouldn't recommend it to my friends or anything. I mean, but there are people that like it. It has a good reviews. It has a Rotten Tomato stamp right there. Some people might like it, action type of. There are people that are actually into this type of films. I think maybe when I was back in my younger days when I was getting into films in like high school, and the ones I started off with were like action crime dramas. But they were like the cheesy ones like ones like this, like these type of action films and all that. So maybe back then I would have liked it. I mean, I would understand if I had it in my collection from like years ago, but right now I'm like, it's not something I would want in my collection. It just, I don't know. I thought it was gonna be something way different. But yeah, that's it. I'm trying to think if I could say anything else. I was thinking about the ending, the wife. What else was wrong with here? No. The whole thing just felt like it was trying to like the ending kind of felt like it was just trying to be like another Heat type of film. You know, the shootout on the street with a big gun over your shoulder and all that. And yeah, there's the dialogue. The dialogue in this film, yeah, I don't know. The dialogue was kind of if I didn't really enjoy the dialogue. I don't know. The dialogue was iffy, and the ending. But there are interesting, as I said, it is a little bit interesting. There are something good about it, just like the ending when I think Ingo says something. He bring the part that got me was when he actually freaking said that to Ingo when he sold him out. Basically, he basically said, "No, yeah, he's guilty or whatever." And the look on this actor right there, that moment really got to me. I'm like, "Oh damn, that's." I don't know. I just felt it right there. I'm like, damn, that's messed up. Like now I could feel it right there, and I was getting into it a little bit right there, but then it kind of throws you off later, and all that, and then what else was I gonna say? There's something else I was gonna say. What he says something to him at the final showdown with them. he says something to him like, what if I wonder if that day, if our roles were reversed or something like that, would the outcome would have been the same? Would you have and it kind of makes you think like shit, and it makes you be like, fuck, man. So those are things I'm like, damn, it could have had some little potential in there that could have been a good story for me that I would have enjoyed. But no, I didn't. I didn't enjoy it, and as I said, I wish I could take it back, but now I have it here. And which reminds me, I woke up today and I'm like, it's Tuesday, it's my day off, and I think Cop Shop came out today. But with the experience of this, I'm like, oh no, I looked up the reviews too on Cop Shop, and I kind of felt like I'd rather pay attention to the ones that are kind of criticizing it a bit, because I'm like, oh, maybe I'll fall for it. They say it's another one that's just trying to do the an homage to the old stuff type of things. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna pick up Cop Shop. The one I do want to pick up is The Last Duel next week. But Cop Shop, I don't know. I was interested in it. I really was, and if I would have liked this one, I probably would have took the risk on that. But after my experience of taking the risk with this one, as I always say, taking a risk, I kind of don't want to end up being upset about missing another $20 on buying it and all that. So yeah, that's my review on Benny Chan's Raging Fire. If you enjoyed my video, please hit that like button and subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching.